to be talking about the new SIG M400 DH3. Before we get into the review, I'm going to cut to a quick recap of the range footage today and catch you guys here in a minute. Alright, hopefully I got your attention there with a little bit of range footage from earlier today. And in my hands, I do have the SIG DH3 M400. I am running a 5x32 SIG Bravo optic on it. Wanted something to kind of reach out there a little bit, but also not get into anything too long distance, so I can keep stuff somewhat up close and personal. So let's jump into a review and some thoughts and opinions on this weapon. But first, I'd like to kind of talk about how I got into this gun. Well, I'd heard about this gun in June, July of summer 2022. So not too terribly long ago, didn't really think much of it. And my local gun shop here, I am friends with a gentleman that works there, sent me a picture of this gun and said, hey, we just got it in, come check it out. Well, as you can see, I now have it here at the home range. So, the DH stands for Daniel Horner. For those of you that don't know who Daniel Horner is, he is a competitive world-class shooter who has won probably more awards than I've been alive times two. So he is the highest ranked marksman in the world, and I guess won more awards than anyone else. I've been familiar with him for quite some time, but I did not know he was going to make an exact replica of the AR-15 he competes with. So this specific M400 here is a competition style AR-15 that is an exact replica and set up exactly how Daniel Horner runs his competitive AR-15. So you'll see a few features that stand out instantly just looking at it that are quite different than your standard AR-15. A few of them being the bigger controls. So if you look here, you have a bigger mag release paddle. And I would like to go ahead and say that this gun is full ambi. So for all you lefties out there that were wanting an AR-15 that is at a competitive level, well, here you go. The DH3 M400 is your gun. So you've got the bigger mag release paddle over here. Of course, an extended charging handle, full ambi, that is quite easy to use. Quite effortless to charge this gun. And another thing that may stand out is this bolt catch. So if you use your trigger finger here, you can push that up and it will actually hold your bolt back. And then with the ease of just pushing down, release it. Of course, you have your standard bolt hold back, which is also quite larger than a standard AR-15 controls. So now that we've kind of talked about some things that are slightly different than an AR-15, let's talk about this flared out magwell here. I really do like this. I find it extremely easier on some of these new modern AR-15s to get a mag in there. I really like that. Not only does it look good, but it functions just as good. So I really like that. We'll get down here on this trigger guard, and the trigger guard is extremely comfortable to hold on to. Now this is a SIG style grip. It does have a big dovetail, beaver tail, whatever you want to call it there. So it does make it quite comfortable for your middle finger to rest underneath there. You don't really have to worry about it rubbing too much. So I do like the smoothness of that combined with this flared out magwell. The safety on this firearm is very smooth right out of the box to operate. So we'll kind of go ahead and talk about why I dove into this, because the more I get involved with this channel and share my collection and my style of firearms, they're actually quite different than this kind of stuff. I do have several AR-15s, however I've been more focused on the AK platform and more or less imports. So this was something out of my quote-unquote comfort zone to buy. But after handling this gun in the store and actually taking it home to the range, I'm actually quite glad that I did. However, definitely stay tuned till the very end of this video, because there was something that wasn't all that great. But anyways, let's cut over to a little bit of range footage and see you guys back here in a minute. Okay, so we've got 3 mags here. These are all PMag Gen 3, 2 with the sight glass. This one has probably about 4 bullets in it. So we'll load it up and check it out. It will not charge the weapon. Whenever you go to charge it, thank goodness this gun has a forward assist, because man, you got to hit it about 3 or 4 times. So let's try the other PMag with all brass. Same thing. I mean, completely catches. The bolt will not go forward. So forward assist, 1, 2, 3 times, and still barely went in there. And even then, I mean, I'm giving it everything I got to get that out of there. And yeah, let's try Still Mag again. This is the magazine that the weapon came with. Same thing, it will not seat. So forward assist, and it does. but still does not lock the charging handle all the way in. You still have to do that. Yeah, pretty disappointing. So that's 3 magazines. The gun ran reliably, but I noticed the last 2 times I go to charge it, I'm having to rely on that forward assist. So as you can see there from the range footage, everything ran extremely smooth and very reliable. I would like to note I did shoot probably 100 to 125 rounds of brass and an additional 100 to 150 rounds, so give or take 250, 300 rounds a day were mixed brass, steel, Tula, and brass Remington, along with kind of my box full of miscellaneous 223. So once again, this is chambered in 5.56 223. We'll go ahead and talk about the barrel here. This is a 16-inch barrel. And the Cerakote on this DH3 is absolutely beautiful. It's almost too pretty. I think I need to spray paint it. I don't know if I can handle having a fancy Cerakoted gun like this in the collection. Let me know if I should do that or not. But anyways, let's get back to the barrel here. This is a floating 16-inch barrel with the floating handguards, and I have to say that these handguards are very comfortable. I do have the forward grip out here, not to actually hang on to, but I do kind of the C-style shooting method, and to have that to pull back on and get this into my shoulder is excellent. I do like these thinner style grips. Of course, you do have just a little bit of real estate out there to put a flip up or iron backup sight on. Do have the Magpul backups on there. I think that's really important. Always have something to back you up. So let's go ahead and move back here to the top of this upper. You do have quite a bit of real estate. Going back to the Bravo 5x32, I do like this scope sight red dot combined with this SIG gun, and it looks good up here. I like the additional pick rails. So you do have quite a bit of real estate up here to put a good size optic, or if you wanted to do an actual long distance scope, a good magnifier, or just a simple red dot. So I was watching a video with Daniel Horner as he was speaking about this DH3, and he was shooting out to 650 yards with this exact firearm. Now, I have hunted from coyotes to deer with 223, and I've never shot anything really needed to past 250, 300 yards. So 650 yards for a 16-inch 223 is quite impressive. Maybe we will do a little bit of bench shooting and set up for something along those lines and see how far out we can accurately shoot. So we'll kind of go from there into this. So this is considered a competition style buttstock. Now, I guess when it comes to a competing AR-15, you don't want an adjustable one that you can just do down here at the bottom. I'm assuming so that doesn't get caught on things and adjust when you don't want it to. So with everything on this gun, on this rear side, you have to have an Allen wrench or Allen key to adjust. So it does have the ports there. And right out of the box, I did set this up to where I was comfortable with it. So this slides back and forth, as well as this piece right here. If you don't want to move your actual stock, you can just use this piece here. So you do have some foam padding right here. And the only thing that is actually adjustable without using a tool is the butt pad itself. So it does have 4 positions that locks into place. So, if you're wondering why I have a little bit of grip tape, aka hockey tape, on the back portion of this gun, I think now would be a good time to cut back to a little bit of range footage to give you a better understanding on why I do that. I normally don't wrap things in grip tape unless it serves a purpose, but sometimes it does just that. It serves a purpose to grip the handle or portions of the gun better. However, this one serves a different purpose. Let's go ahead and cut to a little bit of range footage and I'll show you what I'm talking about. See? Not so sure about that right there. Seems as if it's having a hard time putting a round in. Oh. Try that again. So, after having several hang-ups of needing to forward assist this firearm, I've now figured out why you have to forward assist. And it is because it is hanging up not only on this padding, but it's also hanging up when it pushes on this padding. It is causing it to rub right up on the top of the upper. If you look right through there, you can see it pushes it up enough to catch. So let's see what you can see right there. It is catching, and it is actually peeling all of the paint off on that. So this padding right here is causing the charging handle to shoot up in the air, and you can actually see the gap right in between there. It pushes it up, so it drags on that. Yeah. So this is actually now in the way of a very, very important function of this rifle. So maybe that will kind of give you an idea of why this is wrapped up. Now, let's keep in mind this is a competition style AR-15. Right out of the box, it is highly recommended to be able to compete with. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't have to be a competition AR-15. This could be a gun specifically just to collect or to shoot or run and gun. And ultimately, I bought this firearm because I wanted it just for that. I wanted something slightly different in the collection. I wanted to get my hands on what a comp gun is like. But the fact that right out of the box, my first range day, this was hanging up on the cheek pad, that was a little discouraging. So MSRP on these are $16.99, so $1,700. So by the time you put an optic on it, a sling, and a few things, you know, you're in this gun at $2,000, and you get out to the range, and you can see without the tape on there pressing that down, it hangs up. Now, I did try actually moving this to scoot it back, but I couldn't. It was on there quite tight, and it honestly wouldn't have mattered because this was catching this entire portion right here. So I kind of was honestly a little pissed off when I was dealing with that and having to forward assist. It wasn't something that I was really happy about, but once I taped it down and was able to actually get back out on the range, all of the good things, to me, that's a minor fix. I didn't want that to affect my overall opinion on this gun, but from the outside looking in, if I was someone that, say, right out of the box took this to a competition as it's advertised and that was happening, it's kind of embarrassing. I didn't let it change my opinion on my overall thoughts, and having a good time with this gun, I didn't let it do that. However, I could see if it did. Which, now that we got that out of the way on the rear of the gun, let's talk about this trigger. So this is the Daniel Horner Timney 2-stage trigger. And there's the brake. I mean, the trigger is, so there's your reset and brake. I mean, the trigger is phenomenal. Combined with the bigger ambi features, I really think it starts to make up for that small feature. And the reliability on this AR-15 is great. Keep in mind, I'm 250, 300 rounds in. This is definitely a gun I'm going to put ahead of a few of my other firearms that I was wanting to do some range footage with. So I do plan on putting another 200, 250 rounds through here because I want to see, one, how accurate I can get this gun. I threw this Bravo on there just to kind of shoot today's video and play around with some of the accuracy. So yeah, that would be something that I would like to do, is put more higher end ammo in this and kind of get some long distance shooting done with it. But yeah, that trigger is just absolutely amazing. Very, very happy with it. And we'll kind of go back to just the overall color and the looks of this gun. I think it does look great. Now, I do have one more complaint here, and I also have to keep in mind this is a competition style gun, so probably less is more on these. So back here, it does have the QD or swivel mounts. It's got 1, 2, 3, so you can put your quick attach in there. However, it doesn't have any up towards the front of the barrel here. I know, kind of like on my Galil newer Ace models, they have the little hole there. So as you can see, I had to use some zip ties to get me through my range trips. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot I can complain. And I wouldn't even really consider that a complaint. I just find it kind of strange that they don't include that. Of course, you can always put the little pick rail with the QD mount on there. No big deal. And I'm assuming the reason they don't do that is because it's a competition gun, and that's just one more thing you could use as a snag point. I've noticed a lot of competition AR-15s, they don't even have slings on them. Well, and while we're talking about things that may or not be added on this gun due to snag points, I really assumed that this entire buttstock rear of this gun would be set up more like the Ruger precision style firearms. They kind of have the quick detach adjustments on here rather than having to go through and use the Allen tool to do those with. To me, it would kind of make more sense to have that quick release to adjust this stock. However, once again, that probably goes into snag points and unnecessary features that could just slow you down while you're running and gunning and competing. So, things that I plan on changing out. So if I were to change anything about this DH3, honestly, it would probably just be the optic. I think it would be probably a good idea to put on a better magnification, something a little stronger than a 5x32 with a red dot off to the side. I do really look forward to shooting this gun a lot more, but before we kind of close out here, I would like to talk about this 3-stage compensator that they call this. I've never been a real big fan of these, and I think it has a lot to do with whenever I first started shooting AR-15s and AKs. My first AK had one of these compensators, and I was probably 14 or 15 years old, and shooting those, it blows so much of the gases out, which essentially come back on you. So for those of you that know, just bear with me. For those of you that don't, if you're shooting with this style of compensator, it throws all of the gas out to the side, which tends to come back towards you to theoretically keep the muzzle from rising and lowering. So it just all around keeps a more consistency on target. But for those that don't shoot with one of these and it's your first time, you will notice a considerable amount of blowback and push. Now, this is just my personal opinion. Like I said, that probably goes back several years ago to where I just never much cared for one of these. Although for a competition gun, it makes total sense. I'll probably honestly never change that out. It's what works, it's what the gun came with, and we will keep it that way. I do kind of go back to this grip here. I do like the grip. I like overall how this gun sets on me. I love how easy it is to maneuver and hold. And honestly, having a fixed stock that you can't adjust in the field without a tool doesn't really bother me that much. I kind of thought it would, but it really doesn't. And I think what saves everything for the little flaw it had here was its reliability, its bigger features. I do have bigger hands, so having that extended bolt release and catch there, I do really like. That's easy for me to navigate to and quite natural. Right out of the box, I did notice the dust cover was extremely hard to push in, which is not a problem at all. I think a new gun should be tight and something that you have to break in. So reliability gets an A+, comfort definitely gets an A+. I would recommend, if you were looking at getting into a competition style AR-15 right out of the box, this is, as Daniel Horner would say, the best of its class and most reliable of its kind. And I gotta say, I'll take his word on it. So don't be like me and let this discourage you. This could just be a little bit of a flaw on this one part. I have since watched a few other reviews and videos and reached out to a few other YouTubers that I had seen do a review on this, and they did not complain about their bolt catching on this. No one else had that issue. So maybe this just specific piece of fabric was cut a little thicker. Nonetheless, if it's something that I'm worried about, I can always order another piece, rip this one off, and try to put another one on there. But honestly, I don't really care. I wrap a lot of my grips in tape anyways, so to me it just gives it a little more character. But I would like to kind of close the video out with kind of talking about the color of this gun. As you've all heard from Misha, I am quite the spray paint junkie. So, as you guys know from a little bit of comments from Misha, I do tend to rattle can my guns. I'm kind of a spray paint junkie. So I would like a little bit of feedback. Should I or should I not give this gun a little bit of a rattle can job? Maybe some zebra, tiger stripes, or just some good old leaf and woodland look. I just think the Cerakote is way too pretty to be in the collection. No. Anyways, I really appreciate everybody listening to me ramble on. I hope you got something from today's video on this DH3 Sig Sauer M400. If you guys like today's video, please do like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate everyone's patience with me as I'm kind of new to the channel and starting to do my own thing. Misha will, as always, do his Book of Knowledge reviews on all of the good stuff. But if you guys could, please do check out the link to the Patreon below. I hate to ask, but as little as $1 a month really does go a long ways for the channel. As always, I appreciate it, guys. This is Fox, and we will catch you next time.